We realized early that marriage doesn't expose new problems.
It only reveals the ones you didn't discuss before marriage.
Exactly. So we'll be talking about things that we discussed before we got married.
That really helped our marriage, and I can tell you, has made marriage beautiful for us.
Exactly. Follow us as we go deep into this.
All right, number one thing we talked about before marriage is our likes, our dislikes, our expectation.
Exactly. And our daily living. I mean, during counseling class, it was something that we had to sit down and discuss over and over, and this really helped us. So the first thing first thing we did was to talk about what really annoys you. You know, for me, what was the thing that I said that really annoys me that you can remember?
I think for me is how you're very corrective. There's a lot of things you just want us to get right, I'm that kind of person. If I want to set things, let me plan it, let me do it. But it was just all about, let's do that, let's do it. So for me, I wasn't used to that kind of thing. So I found it annoying. But the fact that we talked about it, that this is the way you like things sorted out, you like things arranged, you like things this way. I had to just now flow through it. But at first, when we're dating, I'm like, this guy, you're doing too much. Like, it was so much for me.
I think it was good that we discussed it. Remember when you used to come and visit then? You will remove your wig and just jump on the bed. And for me, I'm the guy that likes to arrange the house. I like to put my things the way they are supposed to be. So I remember creating one space for you to put your wig anytime you come. So it was good that we discussed that. If not, maybe one day we'll be fighting about one thing. But so it was good that we really discussed that, and it has really helped us.
I think another thing that we discussed was my like for food, because I actually pointed out that I love food, and it was a big deal because he could not just relate.
Honestly, see, if you don't discuss some of these things, you will have problems. Because there's no way in this world that I will think that somebody's love language is food. No. This is not even me trying to. I'm not even capping. It took me year 1, year 2 to settle with it. We discussed it before marriage. She was like, you can do all that you want to do.
Don't come here with flowers and bouquets and when there's no food. I will send you back. There should be food.
But honestly, understanding that really saved me from a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So you know that if you are going to buy a mansion, inside the mansion there has to be food. So imagine I don't know that. I would have just built the mansion and the woman is like, where's the food?
Well done, but not complete. And also, it's also important to talk about your expectation. Sometimes when you don't discuss those expectations with your partner, then in your head, you just assume that they know what you're expecting.
Exactly.
They may not know. So discuss your expectation. Tell them this is what I expect, how marriage should be, how I want you to act, and then let you guys discuss and rub mine. It will save you a lot of trouble, especially in your first 2 years of marriage.
Exactly. So let me give you guys this story. I think I'm the one telling the stories now. We went for a date before we got married, and my beautiful wife, you see how she's looking. Then after church service, we decided to meet at Domino's Pizza that day, and the next thing, my wife came in. Oh Lord Jesus, she came in this wonderful looking makeup, and in her mind she was looking so good. I'm like, what is this? From that day we sat down, we started discussing my expectations about dressing, my expectation about hygiene, my expectation about food, my expectations about so many things. We discussed it and she made ours known, and some way through guidance
we found a balance.
So it's not like I'm throwing all my expectations on her, and she's just being the receiver and I'm the giver at all times. No, it was that I gave mine, she gave hers, and then we strike a balance.
So it's very important. Talk about your likes, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, your expectation, what you really don't like in marriage. It's important that you talk about it. And before you know it, those things solve a lot of problem in marriage. Number 2 thing.
Wait. You know that honestly, this thing looks so small. It looks like conversations you can just go by.
Sweep under the floor.
But honestly, we didn't understand what this was until we experienced the peace that we have in marriage.
Yeah.
And we now have young couples start saying, "Oh, they had these issues, they are having these issues,"
and we can't relate.
and we can't relate. You are like, "Wait,
Actually.
are we already 3 years? Are we 4 years?" And you're like, "Okay." So I mean, those are the things that come
Very,
with
very important.
discussing your likes, what you don't like, your expectations and the
Before
like.
marriage.
So let's go to number 2.
At number 2, we have finance.
Yes, so
Come closer. This one is very important.
spending versus
I don't know what you are
saving.
doing if you are not talking about your finance.
Exactly.
How do you want to get married without finance? One of the major things that actually affect a lot of marriages is their finance. I can tell you for a first hand, I experienced it with my parents. So it's important that you talk about your finance. Who is the
But wait,
spender?
why did you now change English? Why are you being more complex?
Because this is very important.
Jesus Christ.
No. This is really very important. You
Yes,
talk
it
about.
is.
You need to find out who is the spender.
Yes.
Who is the saver.
Odogu is spender. See, guys, for growing up, my upbringing is when you eat, you eat. There's nothing like you are buying, you are chopped. So we got married. I mean, before we got married, we've been discussing this thing. So we got married. Before my wife wants to buy this. She wants to buy this because according to her father, anytime he goes out, he comes back.
Oh my God.
He comes back with small package. I didn't grow up seeing that kind of thing, right? So first it was for me saying that, okay, I'm the saver.
Yeah.
She's the spender. She puts all the money in my wife's account. She will give you account and you can see that she has spent it well. But we don't need to spend the money. But if you put it in my account, you can see that we actually need to do this back and say, okay, let's do them in order of priority. So you need to identify the spender and identify the saver, then lean and strike balance.
Yes.
Honestly, if not, people like me, you can deprive yourself of food
because you want to save, and then on the other side, you can just lavish because you want to save. Another thing that is important that you note at this point is you should understand that his money, my money, is our money.
Our money.
There's nothing like my money is my money. There's nothing like, once you're married, you become one.
Exactly.
So it is your money, and that is what is important to know, that you can decide to adopt. There are ways in this. It doesn't have joint accounts or joint accountability, but you can never take away discussing about your finance, how you want to deal with it.
Yes.
You get so. Babe, show more light on that.
So the truth is, if you don't discuss how you want to use your money, or how you want to go about putting your money together, it's going to cause serious issues. Just imagine, 2 years into the marriage, the husband gets bigger gifts. Everything looks like it's working because we expect that the husband should be the sole provider. Meanwhile, there shouldn't be any sole provider.
Yeah, very important to know. Yes. Nobody is the sole provider.
Nobody is the sole provider. Now, but when you have this conversation, somehow the wife now begins to make more money, and then you start hearing things like the wife is oppressing the husband, egos are being bruised, and
or the wife begins to see that she's helping her husband because apparently that's his job, that's his duty.
I mean, you left your father's house to cleave to your wife. Your wife has left her father's house, and both of you are now together.
Trying to build life together. So it's not about somebody bringing his own. It's our money together.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about that. What plan works for us? We talked about that before marriage. Should we put all our money together, or should we, from our individual accounts, have a joint account where we put all the money? And so for us, what worked for us that we had one account. So no matter how our salary in the different account, we know that, or maybe you have a 2 million, I have a 3 million or a 50K or whatever the amount, but all that money come together. How do you want to plan? This goes for food, this goes for house rent, this goes at the end of the day, or this goes for us for space. So that's how it works for us. So no work works for you. You want to have a joint account or joint accountability. Very important.
And you have to be truthful to yourself.
Yes.
You have to be truthful. Nobody should go and now cut side.
I don't even know how you want to do that. For somebody you're living together, you now want to hide money, but you're open with them, you eat their food. So you have to be open about that.
So another thing is what you like and don't like about money. Personally, for me, I mean, I had a discussion. I don't like spending anyhow. I don't like throwing money around. I like going out. Not really. I like just enjoying life, but I don't like lavishing money. I like to see money grow. Right? So if you don't, it's not like my wife likes to throw money around.
I like to have a good life, but I also want the money to grow. So as money is growing, let my Goodness, be showing like that.
So you need to have this conversation.
Yeah.
If not, one partner will start feeling like I am being deprived of
Of the good life
life. I mean, I'm working, I'm making the money. So I learned a great lesson from a senior friend, my boss. There was a time where in the family, despite the fact that we had discussed or we had serious conversation, and he said something. I started feeling like I was the one making all the money, my wife wasn't doing this. And he said, and I quote, don't ever see your spouse or your partner as someone that is just staying at home. So whether it be the husband
or the
wife, don't ever see them. What they are doing is they are working while you are out there making money.
True.
So there's nothing like one person is making money, the other is. So you see everybody bringing values at different points.
Yeah.
Now, somehow along the way, the table turned, and now I started making more than I was making, and then that saying made sense to me. Thank God I acted accordingly. So if you don't strike that balance
on time, when it happens,
when the table turns, you will now start making amends. So.
Yeah. All right, so the next topic you need to discuss before you get married that we did that helped us is extended family.
Extended family.
This is about to break some tables, but you need to talk about it. Very, very key. How do you deal with extended family either coming to stay with you? Do you allow them? At what point do you allow them in your home? How long are they going to stay in your home? You need to talk about those things.
Or their influence in your marriage.
Very, 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 very key.
It's very key. So for us, this is it. We just told ourselves here. Mainly we marry ourselves. It is you and I and spiritual authorities. When I mean spiritual authorities, is people that we submit to spiritually, like people that can counsel us. So these people are not emotionally attached to us. They can give us the right advice and counsel that we need at any time to get the balance. But when it now comes to extended family, the moment you start taking your matter to your own family, right?
Or even to his own family, because some people do that. They not always report their spouses to their parents or their siblings.
They will start making that person look unserious, like they don't know what they are doing, and you won't actually get anything from that. For example, another thing we did was we told ourselves, when mainly we get married, no family member comes to our house to stay for more than 2 weeks. However, going on the marriage, we'll still get to that point. That had to change at some point.
But it has to be a consensus, like you get it. So it's not like one person impounded on somebody to say this is what's going to happen. No, we came to that consensus that okay, there's a change, so we should allow somebody. Also, what is important to discuss when it comes to extended family is about giving money.
Yes, so
you need to talk about this one. Don't just think that not a big deal. Talk about it.
Babe, I just imagine your mom calls you and say, "Hello, please, I need money." And I say, my husband will not allow me. And you say, wait, go and ask my husband. Ask my husband.
So you're creating that scenario. I think the people, they're trying to stand in the way of your giving.
Exactly.
But that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is have an agreement that, for example, this is what I do. If my mom calls and says, oh, can I get like this amount of money from you? I'm like, okay, let me get back to you. You see, I'm not trying to say, oh, I want to ask my husband. Oh, do you understand? You don't have to tell them. You don't owe them that. But you know that how you guys do in your family is that if you're going to give somebody money, we have to tell ourselves. Yes. I can't do that with my husband. Or if even it's something like it's an emergency and he does that or I do that, we'll tell our friends, tell ourselves that, okay, I have to give mom some money, I have to give my brother money. Yeah. So there's accountability.
Exactly.
Not that I'm hearing from somebody else that my husband or my wife gave money to somebody and we are just getting to know. That's not a good thing to do.
Yes. So, another thing that we do, sorry babe, another thing that we do is if I'm sending money, if she wants to send money to her dad, we send it from my
account. For Christmas or things like that.
So we send it from my account. So my father-in-law sees it as, oh, my son-in-law is sending me money.
Yeah.
And when we want to send money to my own parents, I send from my account. And so there's that.
Yeah, so they see that you love them, even though you're not their child.
Exactly.
That's the intentionality about
and guess what? Family. Sometimes she's not the one sending the money. Right, from our account. I just pick her phone, use her account to send the money and tell my mom that my wife has sent you money and she's like, oh, greet your wife for me, but me key aware and all of those things. So it just helps you to bond, and these people, your extended family knows that they cannot come in between the both of you.
And it's very good because sometimes you may have extended family conflicts.
Yes.
I hear some people talk about how maybe they are looking for children and maybe the husband's family, or most times the husband's family, will not come to the house and they're talking to the wife anyhow. No, it shouldn't be.
At all. As
It shouldn't. It shouldn't be. So it's the gap that, or the way, the impression you have given to them, that they think they can talk to your spouse that way. So you should talk about how to deal with conflict, that nobody should come to the house and speak to either my husband or myself anyhow, be it my mother, my father. We've had instances like that. And I have to put it to them. I spoke to my father, I'm like, no, you can't do that. So the same way, you have to stand in for your spouse before any other person. Is you and your spouse. Nobody can come in.
Exactly.
What God has put together, nobody should put us under.
And most importantly, you should also understand is that the way you present your spouse is the way your family members will see your spouse.
Very
so
true.
If you don't want them to see your spouse as
or disrespect
them, you have to present them in a good manner.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic way to handle extended family. And so far so good. It's been working for us.
Actually.
Honestly.
So that's why I should talk about it. And if you're already married and you've not talked about this thing, just gather chair, sit down and talk about these things. It's important to talk about it.
Yes.
All right. So next.
Boundaries with extended family. You need to know that at this point, they cannot know more than this.
Yeah.
They cannot go beyond this part. Do you understand? I don't want to give detailed instance, but you should know that this is the extent at which
certain information they should have access to, because it matters on how they see the other spouse.
Exactly.
Imagine if you begin to go and tell your spouse, your parents or your relative or your siblings some things about your marriage. By the time they see your spouse outside, they're looking at them in a certain way. It's because of what you have fed them with.
Exactly.
So you should limit the kind of information you tell your family about your spouse, especially your marriage. They shouldn't know. Okay?
Yes. So the next thing we're talking about is emotional needs.
Very, very important.
How do we give and receive love?
You need to talk about that before you get married.
Yeah, so you need to really discuss that with your spouse. If you do not discuss that before your relationship and you're already married, all right, or you're already in a serious relationship heading to marriage, you still have time to do that. I mean, it's never late. So
you need to talk about what love means to each other, and that's where the 5 love languages is important. Whether it's physical touch, whether it's gift, whether it's act of service, whatever is your love language. Because sometimes you can be showing love to your spouse how you want to be shown, not how they want to be shown love to. Do you get? So for me, I love gift. I love act of service.
I love food.
So when I want to get something from my husband, the first thing that comes to my mind is trying to give him what I would like. But you have to pause and say, no, this is not how this person would want to be. But if you don't even know that, you can't do that. So you need to discuss what love means to each of you.
But you know the twist about this thing, I think that particular thing, it changes over time, right? As you grow and advance in relationship, the way people want to receive love changes. For example, for me, it used to be just quality time. And after some time, I remember my wife wanted to buy me something. I'm like, that's not what I want. This is what I wanted. Or there was a time where she bought me a game pad, and it was everything to me. And I've not always been a gift person. But that gift at that point in time made a lot of sense. So it's good that you continually ask yourself.
So even after marriage, you should discuss this thing, what love means to you, so that you can be on the right page, so that you're not showing the person love the way you want and they are lacking, because it's not good if they are lacking in the way they want to be loved.
Exactly. It's not a one-off thing. It's something that you keep growing at.
So the next thing you need to talk about before you get married that will help your marriage and build your marriage is family planning and children. Very important. You need to talk about when you want to have kids and how many. For some people, they want to get married and, like we told ourselves, that didn't work out, that we're going to wait like 1 year.
If it didn't work out, just enjoy your life, honestly.
But of course, if that's what you want, you have to put a plan in place that you're getting 1.5 children maybe in the next 1 year or 2 years. Discuss that together so that it doesn't look like one person wants to wait maybe 1 year, 2 years, and the other person doesn't want that. You get those things need to be talked about. And then how many children? I think we talked about. I wanted 4, and you wanted three at the
Three.
time. So we needed to come to that consensus that, you know what, let's do three. So talk about those things. It's
But the
just
truth is, if you
important.
don't talk about it, if you don't talk about it and both of you don't agree, so it's not just talking about it, it's agreeing and staying by your agreement. Abi?
Yeah.
Because family members will come, and if they come and ask you and say, for example, say, Mrs. Sugar, why how come we don't have children?
Where are our children?
That's it. It's Mr. Sugar.
Or Mr. Sugar, or Mr. Sugar, your mom just comes around and say, where are my children? I say, it's not my wife.
My wife,
You get,
she's not ready.
you're not be throwing stones against each other. So it should be something you agree.
It should be that the both of you agree and you stay by those words.
Okay.
So I think that's that about it. The next thing we're talking of is spiritual growth and belief.
Very, very, very key. And we can't even overemphasize the whole importance of spiritual growth and belief. You guys have to be on the same page spiritually. What are your beliefs?
Yes. What are you holding on to? Quick story. I remember when we got married newly, and one of the things that they do for my wife's place is something they call, one of the traditions is opening up truth. And my father-in-law called me and said, come and bring your wife to the village. Let them be open up truth. I was like, anyway, I'm sorry, sir. That cannot happen. Myself and my wife, we have
an agreement that
Christ is the head of this family.
Yes, so
He has made way for us. We don't need to open any teeth anymore. Do you understand? So imagine we don't have
that consensus, that we're not on the same page.
We're not on the same page on this matter. To have cost a lot.
It will be like, you don't want me to come and do what my father said.
Exactly.
You know, these are the consequences. So there's going to be now collision and fight.
Exactly.
But
And
because
the
you're on the same,
devil can always hold that
it tries on those kind of things
and affect
the family.
So
you guys have the same page on agreement. What are your belief system, especially in particular topics about Christian, your faith level, when it comes to hell, when it comes to healing, when it comes to belief? Do you understand? What do you stand for? I've seen cases where people they go to church, they're Christian, but when you're talking about some belief system, you're like, where are you from? Like, I actually are going to the same church. You're actually the same God we're serving. So you guys should talk about what is your belief on this matter. What do you stand for in this matter? You guys, what do you see here some believers that say, but in my house, this is how we used to do it, or this is how we do it in my village, even though we go to church. Talk about those things so that you're sure that you're on the same page. Especially if you have a ministry call, it should be known to your other partner that they should know.
And the truth is, as simple as what time are we going to church? It's very important. You know, we have gone past the age of our fathers waking up in the morning and just say, they just go to the car and every other person must meet them by the car. I mean, we're no longer in that age. So you have to agree, because someone that has gone to work all through the week and they're tired, and you want them to wake up very early on Sunday morning to meet up for workers meeting and all of that. That's if you are part of workforce, which we are. So I mean, it's something that you would have discussed. So when this person needs grace, you can extend grace to them and say, okay, today I'm bathing the children. Today I'm the one cooking. Because, I mean, your children will eat to church. So it has to be, we're waking up by 5:30. It's something that you must discuss before marriage so that it doesn't come as a shocker to anyone in the marriage.
And also, when you have ministry, if you're called to ministry, you should tell your partner so they know their role in your ministry, especially for us that we're ministry people. So it doesn't come off like a surprise. And even if it happens in between the marriage, because some people they may not be called before, but then when you now get married, you guys should talk about this, so that you don't have somebody feel like they are caged, they are in a place they don't want to be. So even if it happens after marriage, please sit down and talk about it. Let them have their own say, their opinion. You get it's very, very important.
Very important.
So that you don't have, in quotes, a pastor and a pastor's wife that I feel like they're dragging her that she didn't really want to be. So it's important to talk about, the woman is the person as the pastor and the husband vice versa. So it's important to talk about these things. Exactly. Very, very important.
Next topic is...
All right. Another thing that's important we should talk about is adjustments. You need to talk about adjustments when you get married, because whether you like it or not, being single, being in a relationship, cutting is not the same thing as being married. It's not the same thing. Let me just gonna tell you, there are a lot of things you need to adjust. There are a lot of changes. You're not living with your spouse in the same house, yet demands that you need to now adjust. There's some things that when you were living by yourself, the things you just do as you want or as you please. But now you
Exactly.
have to make changes. E.g., for example, I have to understand that I have to cook for my family. There are times that I don't feel like, but I know that this has to be done. I have to adjust myself to it. Sometimes I don't feel like, but come on, someone has to do this.
Exactly.
And you need to, put yourself together and get it done.
Exactly. So there are a lot of things that you need to adjust to.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone like me, my peak period in the day is always evenings, and sometimes when I have roadblock or design block, I'm always waiting for evenings, and I always have breakthrough. And sometimes when I just have that breakthrough, my wife is like, "Sugar, please, can you help me change diaper?" And I'm like, how? But you have to adjust.
Yeah.
It's not like the person is just lying down not doing anything. They are doing something.
Yeah.
And eventually, most of the times I've helped out, it didn't kill, it didn't bite. Another thing that I had to adjust to, I love fresh fish. But my wife eats it, she feels like she wants to puke. So for some time now, I can't remember eating fresh fish. Well,
But we made some adjustments.
yeah, adjust.
I had to
So,
cook it. I didn't like it, but we have to eat it.
yeah, so for a long time I didn't eat it. And when she eventually cooked it, she couldn't really eat it. So it's not like, oh, this is what we have said before marriage and that's what we are working by. I mean, there are adjustments
As you go, as the demand of the marriage comes.
Yes.
There are things that you just have to decide that I will choose peace over the trouble. There are certain things that you say, this is how I used to, this is how I've known how to do it. But in marriage, you have to make adjustments.
Yes.
What is more important to you? Is it your marriage or just having your personal enjoyment? You're not together, so it's not about having my own win. It's not about just me winning. We have to win together.
Exactly.
So there's sometimes that you just have to let go of some personal enjoyment or some personal things you like, just so that you can have peace in your home, so that your family can thrive. So you really have to talk about it. I know that some of these things, they will just happen in marriage. They may not get to you, but you have to talk about it. Like, there should be a mind shift in your head that there are things I'm going to have to drop that I used to like because of marriage.
Exactly.
There are things that I don't like doing that I have to do because of marriage.
Exactly.
Because this marriage is forever.
It's forever.
So whatever we need to do to make it work, it's gonna be done.
So the next thing is career expectations.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to have this conversation. See, the reason why you need to have it is this. Some people, they will come and tell you, I don't know why a man will see a woman that is doing well, career-wise. You will now marry her and you want her to be full housewife. You now want to cajole her to get a remote job so that she will sit at home. You need to have this discussion.
You need to.
Even if your wife doesn't have a job before you married her, or your spouse doesn't have a job, you need to understand what they want to be career-wise. Because as a man or as a woman, you will make sacrifices for that person to attain the goal that they want to, get to. As a woman, you will make sacrifices. As a man, you will make sacrifices.
So you need to talk about it. It's important that you share what your career goals are, because I can be saying that I want to be a CEO of a company. Of course, it comes a lot of sacrifice. So we need to be on the same page. Are we willing to pay that price for you to get there? We need to champion each other. What will it cost us for you to get to the top?
Exactly.
As much as you're saying that some people don't mind working from home, some people don't mind not even working, but it should be something that is a consensus, not that you now get married to that person and then you're telling them this is what they should do. Talk about your career expectation. What do you want to be? Oh, I want to get to this, and your spouse should push you. Oh, remember you said this is where you're heading to, and you just support each other to say, oh, we're heading somewhere. That's the beauty of it. But importantly, discuss it before marriage. It is very, very important.
If you don't discuss this, you will have what is called untimely pressure. Imagine your spouse is passing by and they're doing it like this. And they're making sound and you're like, what is wrong? And the person keeps bothering up. One day you just say, you housewife, you house husband, you're not doing this, you're not doing that.
I'm the one carrying every responsibility.
They will just burst out unnecessarily. So it's good to have this conversation so that everything.
I just remember something. So assuming you're the one that wants to be a housewife or the one that wants to be a house husband, you should tell your spouse, because some people have expectation that, oh, when I get married, it's two people, so two finances, two money coming together to make this family. Imagine if one partner is already planning their head that they want to just stay at home. Do you understand? So you guys need to talk about whether you're the one that wants to stay at home or you're the one that wants someone to stay at home.
But don't stay at home. No, I'm not saying you cannot start. I'm just
Whatever else, even you're going to stay at home, find what you do
find
something.
Find
Do
something.
something. It's important that you do for
Find
your own
something
mind.
done.
For your own God has put a lot of creativity
Yes.
and ideas in our head. Do something. All right. The next thing to talk about is
I said the last one. Career expectation.
eh,
Yes. It's your turn.
okay, so priority shift after marriage. This is very important.
Very important though.
You need to talk about this. You need to talk about that upon marriage, this is me and my spouse. Every other thing, be it your work, be it your family before, they come second. Be it the children, they are secondary.
Yes.
Children cannot come before your husband. Your children cannot come before, because I watch a video and they're saying between your wife and your children who you pick. Some people are saying my children. I don't understand. Children from where?
You see, the why they will talk like that is they don't have those conversations for marriage.
Very
I
true.
remember me. I think I was a custodian of that school in this. I was like, see, all these our beautiful children, they are lovely, but they will be secondary.
Yes.
You are primary, and I must be primary to
Yes.
you. So there's nothing like, oh, we now have beautiful children. I mean, I see women take pictures without their husbands, and they're taking pictures with their children. So I'm like, wait, where's the husband in this picture? Or let's picture is, I mean,
Yeah,
picture
maybe
is
he's not
taken.
around. Or
But let's say that, but you can just tell that this person's
prioritizing
they
their
prioritize these
children
more
over
than
their
the husband.
spouse.
For us, we have said no. I remember having this same conversation around young married men
Yeah.
of my age grade, some even older. And when I was talking about this resolution, they're like, it's like you already have your life figured out. I'm like, no, it's not. We didn't have it figured out.
But there's some things you put in
We talking
place
that we
before
prioritize
they make
ourselves.
your marriage like a smooth run. You
Yes,
get?
I love my wife. That was why I said I'm going to marry her.
Mhm.
She loves me in return. She wants to marry me. And we should not get married and
then
channel the love to the
all-
children.
They have their own
Forget
share of
ourselves.
love, but on the top priority radar, your spouse is number one.
Exactly.
Even I see some people prioritizing work. You know, say because I make money from there to feed the family. So what now happen? No matter what, your wife, your husband is still top notch. You know, some people used to say my work was there, I had my ambition before I met you, so therefore, no matter how you want to get to the top, you have to balance it. You know, that's why it's called
Exactly.
work-life balance. That your work doesn't take the place of your spouse. I heard a woman talking about how the second wife of her husband is her husband's work. You know, so your spouse is not feeling deprived that your work
Because your work is your second
is your
wife.
second wife.
Oh, wow.
That shouldn't be. So please talk about this, put a balance. So when somebody's head is knocking, like remember we had this conversation, okay? You're crossing the line. You're crossing the line.
Exactly.
Put a boundary to work, you know.
There has to be that balance. Priority shift.
Yeah.
It has to shift from whatever it is to your spouse. I mean, as the marriage is going on, you will see other things that you need to amend on. But having these conversations, we already you just know that, okay, for us, so these are non-negotiables.
Yeah.
I cannot do this. I should not do this for us to make it work. So,
All right. So the next one we're going to be talking about is
decision
making. Very, very
Yes,
key.
this is very key. I see a lot of persons struggle around this online, and then you will hear a man say, "I cannot marry a successful woman." I'm like, why? She will want to lord it over me. I mean, she will want to trample upon me. Sir, no, you do. I mean, your leadership is not just about money. Decision making, both of you will come together.
Yeah.
For us now, before we make any decision, I'm the man. I make the final decision, but we have discussions around
it.
I don't just wake up and say,
We're leaving Calabar or we're leaving Lagos, we're going to UK.
No. I don't think it should do that. You know, as a man, there are times you might want to do that. As a man, there are times you might want to do that, but I don't think you should necessarily just make. I don't think you should necessarily just make decisions without consulting your spouse.
Yeah, and your wife too.
Or wife. I mean,
for example, women will say it doesn't really matter. You change your children's school or things like that, and your spouse is not aware. This is you should take. People do that.
Really?
People do that in marriages, and that's why you need to talk about these things. You don't take decision on your own, whether you're the wife or the husband. There are decisions you should take together.
Really?
And then the man will say, okay, I think we're based on what I see, this is where we're heading to, and you just align with it, but you need to make decisions
You need
together.
to make the
It's very
decisions
important.
together.
Very,
Even
very
for
important.
your own business. I'm telling you, you are the wife, you are the owner of the business, you are the expert. But you can always just run your husband through it. And say,
Same with your husband.
yes,
Very, very true.
husband can also run wife through
And
it.
that's why God has placed that person. They're supposed to help you too.
Yes.
So you don't have it all. I remember a lot in my office, my career. There's certain advices that help me shape the way I see work that came from my husband because I discussed it with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I feel. What do you think about it? And by giving me that advice, I got better at work.
I used to see some videos, and it used to happen in time past. I don't know if it still happens now. I don't think it should happen now. Or it happens. Some people will go into financial debt, struggles, and they are trying to swallow it all by themselves because they don't run things by their spouses.
Very key. I think one of the cases I was handling as a lawyer, I think I remember a man vividly that he had taken a loan from a bank and he couldn't pay. And so how his wife got to know was because they wanted to take their house because it was part of the collateral. And that's how she now knew. So imagine this man has been bottling all this. He had taken the decision, taking the loan by himself. Obviously, she does not aware that she took the loan. The business his business was having issues. She still wasn't aware. And your wife, your spouse is your number one person.
Exactly.
Don't bear the burden alone. You guys should discuss things.
Discuss it.
Bear decisions together.
Make that decision together.
Don't go and take a decision that will affect your entire family all by yourself and put your spouse into problems that they don't know. Because
there's a saying that says 2 heads are better than one.
Also, 2 heads.
Two heads are better than one. So
please,
you come together, you make decisions together.
Yeah.
And the next topic would be
handling disagreements. Come closer. Uju, Obina, Emeka, Kule, Adaku, come closer. This is very, very important because a lot of people, all that lovey-dovey that you are doing, when you marry, it's not every time that you'll be feeling that butterflies in your belly.
Exactly.
Because you're two different people from two different backgrounds, upbringing, you will have issues, you will have disagreements. But the question is, how do you handle disagreements? You should talk about it because I'm hearing issues. People get married and they're flinging bottles, they're throwing things, they're calling names.
How do we do our own?
So for us,
so I think the number one thing was nobody goes to bed.
Yes. And that even stems up from a personal place too.
Yes.
I read in the Bible that anger lies in the bosom of the fool, and don't allow the sun go down in your anger. So from just a personal place, I told myself that no matter how angry I am with my spouse, I will not let the sun go down.
Yes.
So even if I don't feel like talking, I'm doing my face, I'm moving around. I told myself, no talking. After a while, I'll just say, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it. Please
talk about it.
Talk about your issue. Don't sulk. Pastor Major will say we don't sulk, we talk here. So talk about it. And it's also important to understand when you talk about these things, because imagine talking about things in the heat of things and you are shouting, you are screaming, everybody wants to be heard.
Yes.
It could be after that disagreement and you just call yourself and say, I feel that should have been done this way. I didn't like the way you spoke to me.
Exactly.
I didn't like the way you handled this matter. I think it should have been better this way. It hurts me. I feel bad. But it's important that you talk about these things.
And you don't bring third parties into it.
Yes, very important.
If you want your marriage to last, your bringing third parties should be the last result. Like should be the last result.
It should not even be there. But even if it should be there because we want to reconcile the marriage, then we can now get a third party. But you should want to get to that point that you can sort out your issue together.
Yes. You discuss it.
And very important, our children should not be hearing us shouting.
Exactly.
Please talk about it. I agree that the children should not be seeing you shouting, making noise, calling names. Hey, you're going to be raising people that will go into their marriage with the same mindset that this is how marriage is done. Please talk about these things.
So, is one of the things that I think I can say I've learned from our mother is how we fight is more important than what we are fighting on.
Actually.
Right? So, one of the things we don't do is we don't call ourselves names.
Yeah.
We don't, no matter how angry you are, we don't do that. You will never hear us.
We don't raise hands.
So we don't raise hands.
Whether you're the woman or the man, because people like say it's just the man that beats. Women beat nowadays.
We don't raise hands. We just know that these are lines that you cannot cross.
Yeah.
And having that understanding
on time
is really helping us.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really helping us, and we will not just stress ourselves unnecessarily. So, for example, one of the things I would do conveniently is when I know that I'm angry, I just
Yeah.
keep quiet.
Mm.
I keep quiet, and when we're ready to talk, I'll say the things I need to say, cool, calm, headed. Not to say it to, because there's a way you can say something and it will bring more anger.
Yeah, because I remember in our first few years of marriage, because I grew up where we talk very loud. So on a normal days, I talk loud, you get. So now when I'm not angry, there's that tendency to want to shout. So I was always shouting. I'm like, you don't shout when we're talking. It was a struggle, but I understood that this should not be. So the idea is so that when you have had that conversation, it sticks in your head that so if the other person is crossing the boundary, like
Exactly.
no, we don't do this in this house. So we
Like
don't.
we're angry, we have disagreements, but I can identify that this is not part of our core agreement. You cannot be shouting when we have a dispute.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work. And most of the time, we wonder, oh, okay, I cannot shout. There are times I want to raise my voice, like, no, don't shout at me. So I understand that, oh, we cannot shout in this family.
It's not the time where you say, why would I shout?
Why would I shout? Am I not the no?
You start to realize that it's the call back to what we had discussed.
Yes.
And also important thing to understand about handling disagreements is that it's not about winning the argument.
Exactly.
It's about the marriage. What happens? Okay, you now win the argument. What happens is this person you're still going to live with. You win the argument and you destroy your partner's emotions. You say words that even when you have apologized, you've already put a dent, a hole in the heart of the person you say you love. So there are ways to handle disagreements, and you need to talk about it.
I think one of the things that should happen is both spouses should come to the agreement that we are going nowhere.
Yes.
We stay here.
Yeah.
We live here.
There's no door, there's no window.
We grow old here.
Yes,
and we die.
So there's no place for divorce.
There's no.
So if there's no place for divorce, we have to make this marriage work.
Yes, now.
So we cannot be arguing and they say, go away, I go my way. No.
No. We say I'm going to one friend to do what?
I see people have arguments and they pack their bag and leave their marriage home. Where are you doing? Auntie, uncle, come back here. We say here, we die here.
Down with that
we live here.
You are boiling. You are angry, but you still go to that kitchen. In fact, if you don't want to cook, if you are so angry that you cannot cook, just
order food for real.
Just pray for the person.
It's true.
Or guess what? Even as you are praying, God will make you sweet. Just order food for him. He will know that you are angry.
The food is there. Yeah.
So we are talking of marriages that will last long.
Yeah.
These are things that makes people know that. I mean, for example, I was angry with my wife which day. I don't know, or was I angry? She was angry with me, and we had just small portion of food cooked food in the house, and I know that if I eat this food, there's nothing for her to eat as dinner, and she's a foodie, so I had to divide that food into two and say, okay, after eating my one, and I took it. She was angry. I said, okay, so this is your portion of the food. And she was like, I don't want. I knew that she would eat it before. I said, this is your portion of the food. And eventually, that was what was left for her for dinner. And that anger just died down. So, your fight does not take away the person's love from your heart.
Very true.
Please, understand that. We are fighting, but we love ourselves.
Yes, so.
Then the love comes over the fight we are fighting. And you know that when we talk of love itself can almost die if not nurtured.
Love as a feeling. Love is beyond a feeling. It's a commitment. We are committed to make this work.
We are committed.
Because whether you like it or not, whether you like them, even when you marry people, there are the people that be finer than your spouse, people that even act more better than yourself. But I've chosen to stay committed to this person. Come what may, I stay with this person.
Exactly. I think it's the commitment. Because the moment I know that I'm committed to this woman, no matter what she does, I can see her above what she has done. So that can now make you start asking yourself, why did she do what she did?
Yeah.
See, the moment you begin to think like that, you are taking the first step at forgiving that person. I'm not talking as as a psychology expert. I'm just saying these are the things that are applicable. The moment you start making an excuse for the person,
and then you allow them air their opinions. Okay, this is why I did. You may not necessarily even have a bad intention, just maybe miscommunication.
Exactly.
You get so it's important.
You can understand that this is the intention, but execution was wrong.
Yeah.
And then you can just make amends and go from there.
And so finally, what you should talk about before you get married that we didn't talk about that gave our marriage a smooth run is health.
Yes, so your health, you need to discuss. It should not be inside marriage that brother Callistus is getting to know that Sister Nkechi has one life-threatening disease.
Please don't do that.
It shouldn't be.
Your spouse deserves to know to know the information
Yes.
about your health. You know,
They should
instead of I have to ask, what are the things that you have in your family? Let's even start knowing what the battles we want to face ahead. You get,
Yes.
let them now decide. You know, so what do you have this kind of disease? Do you have this, or are you struggling with anything? Discuss about your health.
Exactly.
It's very, very important.
It's very
you know.
important.
For example, you're a lady and maybe you've heard that you can't have children. You should know before you get married. It's not after they are now married and then you're pouring that kind of information on them.
Let
them decide.
Let them decide. Honestly, there's love, but when we talk of commitment, the spouse can know that we are trusting God to have a child regardless of what the doctor has said. But if they don't know, they most likely will be thinking something is wrong with them. And when they get to know that the problem has been from you all the while, they can feel heartbroken.
Yeah, that you apologizing. So please discuss about your health, whatever you're having, or your family, or the things that you notice that, oh, my family, we have this, so that we can start putting things in place. The spouse can help you. If it's ulcer, if it's whatever it is, you put things in place that will stop that from happening in your own family. So it's important you discuss these things. And it's important to know that avoiding to discuss this conversation, you're going to have a lot of struggle in your marriage. You get, like we said from the beginning, marriage is not a discovery of new problems. They're the ones you didn't talk about. But when you talk about this, you trash them out already. You solve the problem. I'm not saying you're not going to have some issues come up in marriage because but they already give you that smooth run. You know, we couldn't relate where people say in their first 2 years they were having issues, they were always fighting toothpaste, this one, because we talked about some things. We ironed some things out before marriage.
We had this serious conversation.
Yes, so
kudos to Pastor Kel.
Yes, and Pastor Tunde, your teachings.
Kudos to you. You know, your teachings have helped us, you know, to have this mouth to say we had this kind of conversation. Because
we took counseling serious. Please take your counseling
Pastor
serious.
Kingsley and
Pastor Major, hi man. We're blessed. I'm telling you, and they blessed our lives.
Because we wanted to have good marriage.
You learned about marriage on time.
Yeah.
So you don't learn about marriage inside marriage. You learn before marriage.
Even if you are inside marriage, you can't.
It's not too late. Yeah.
If you don't have this conversation, you'll be sharing beds. You will not be sharing hearts. I think that's the time we should clap.
Clap it.
You will just be sharing beds. You will not be sharing hearts.
Yeah.
So, but having this conversation helps you to know your spouse.
Yeah, you're binded in oneness.
You're binded. So, there's a way they can say this about your spouse, and like no, and because you said no, it's actually no because you know your spouse. So guys, did you see that? Pastor is a friend.
That's why I married you. I married right.
Honestly. So if you don't have this conversation, you will have that
struggle, that collusion, because
you guys will not flow easily, and you would be trying a lot of things.
Little things will now become like mountains, because they keep building up and building up and building up. So it's important you have these discussions, and I know that when you do that, if you're not yet married or you're married already and you have that conversation, you have a smooth run in your marriage. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share this video to your friends. Somebody needs to hear this, and turn on your notification bell so that whenever we post something, you will know.
And guess what?
Follow us.
Drop comments in this.
Yeah.
In the comment
maybe there are things we didn't talk about that you already talk about with your spouse, or you have an
maybe people that have gone ahead of us and you are like, oh, these people are missing out something. Please feel free to drop it in the comment section. The goal is to have more marriages that work.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So,
and that's why we say our marriage must work.
It must work. It has to work. Thank you. We love you.
See you in the next video. We love you.
Bye.